If we take a look at vertical pressing and pulling, when we end up doing vertical pressing and pulling with the arms out to the side, we are doing vertical abduction. And then when we do pulling, we are doing a deduction. And then when we are doing it with the elbows tucked in, when we do pressing, hey everyone, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to another episode of Ask Me Anything. Steven here with Team U4Work, and today's question comes from Dusten Cross, who would like to know, kind of an unrelated question about the side laterals. Do you agree that this movement is a pull and press hybrid? Well, Dustin, with regard to side laterals, I don't really consider it to be a hybrid movement. I consider it to be more of a pressing movement, and I'm going to get into the anatomy of why exactly I consider it to be a pressing movement. If we look at pressing versus pulling, let's take a look at the anatomy. We have vertical pressing and pulling, and then we have horizontal pressing and pulling. We also have diagonal, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be focusing just on vertical and horizontal pressing and pulling. When we look at the actual pulling pattern, when we do horizontal pulling, what we're going to be doing is extension of the humerus or the upper arm bone, and then when we do horizontal pushing with the elbows tucked in, we're doing flexion of the humerus or the shoulder bone. Then, if we are doing horizontal pressing and pulling with arms out to the side, when we do pulling, we are going into horizontal abduction, and when we do pressing, we're doing horizontal adduction. Then, if we take a look at vertical pressing and pulling, when we end up doing vertical pressing and pulling with the arms out to the side, we are doing vertical abduction. And then when we do pulling, we are doing a deduction. And then when we are doing it with the elbows tucked in, when we do pressing, we are doing flexion of the humerus. And when we are doing pulling, we are doing extension of the humerus. So now that we have a little bit of an understanding of the planes of motion and what exactly we're doing during pressing and pulling, let's take a look at the side lateral. When we do the side lateral, we are going into abduction in the coronal plane. So if you were to take a look at pressing versus pulling, when we do pressing, we are doing abduction in the coronal plane. That is why I consider it to be a pressing movement, because if we were to consider it to be a pulling movement, you would have to have some type of component of a deduction, bringing the humerus down toward the inside, but that's not the case because we're doing abduction. So that is the reason why I consider it to be a pressing movement. And then Dustin also had a question with regard to how to properly perform side lateral. So next Thursday, I'm going to be doing a separate Q&A that's going to be related to the Q&A that we just did today. Next Thursday at 9 o'clock a.m., I'm going to be taking you through some side lateral variations, and I'm going to be explaining how to do it properly, the most effective way to perform it depending on what exactly your goals are. And also, I'm going to be taking you through a few different variations. So be out on the lookout for that next Thursday at 9 o'clock a.m. If you have any other questions with regard to side laterals or any other exercise for that matter, go ahead and ask your questions down in the comments section so I can help you guys out. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to keep making these Q&A videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.